One of the first major barriers that most investors run into is not understanding how to speak the language of money. There's a lot that goes into it, and without having that knowledge base, you're always at a disadvantage. So, we're going to go over some of the key terms that you need to understand to start down your path to financial knowledge in regards to real estate today. The first term we're going to go over today is cash flow, and this is pretty easily defined. You basically take all of your operating expenses and you subtract that from the rental income, and that gives you your cash flow on the property. So let's say that you're renting at $1,300 and your total payments are $800. You have a $500 cash flow. Another crucial term is cash on cash return. And this is basically an annual pre-tax cash flow divided by the actual cash invested in a deal. This is frequently also referred to as return on investment or ROI. They're typically used interchangeably. In order to understand this, let's take our example from the cash flow slide. We're making $500 a month. So what we do is we multiply that by 12 months and we have $6,000 in annual pre-tax cash flow. Now let's say we put $20,000 into this deal to close it. What we do is we divide the $6,000 by $20,000 and that equals 0.3 or 30% cash on cash return. Our next term is CapEx, short for capital expenditures. It's typically a one-time major expense that ultimately extends the overall life and value of your investment. A good example of this would be that the rental that you just purchased, the roof needs to be replaced. That'd be considered a capital expenditure. And would be having to repaint after a tenant moves out. Our next term is HOA fee, or homeowners association fee. This is mandatory for certain neighborhoods. The fee typically covers maintaining and improving properties with the association. Fees are subject to change over time, so you need to be careful when you're buying any home inside of a homeowner association that you're calculating that cost in. Next term is appreciation. This is basically an increase in value of an asset over time. For an example, Joe bought his house at $75,000 5 years ago. He just got it appraised recently at $100,000 this year. The house was appreciated by $25,000 in 5 years. It also means that every year it went up by $5,000 a year. Next term is adjustable rate mortgage. This is a mortgage where the rate doesn't stay fixed throughout the life of the loan, but fluctuates based on interest rates at the time. So this could be a good thing if you have high interest rates that you expect are going to go down over the long term. Fixed rate mortgage. This is the most common type of mortgage, and your rate and payment stays steady throughout the entire course of the loan, so there's no surprises. Equity, which is another cornerstone of real estate investing. Basically, what you do is you take the current market value and you subtract what you owe. That gives you your equity. So let's say that you owe $50,000 on your rental. You have the property appraised and it hits $100,000. You now have $50,000 of equity in that property. Turnkey property. This is a property that is rent ready upon purchase. Your debt to income ratio is one of the most important things when you're looking at financing a property. It's one of the two main limiting factors when you're going to procure a loan. How you find that is you take your total debt payment and you divide that by the gross income. So let's say that you make $10,000 per month, but you spend $4,800 a month in debt. So you divide the $4,800 by 10,000 and you get 0.48 or 48%. So your DTI, or debt to income ratio, is 48%. Loan to value, or LTV. You get this by dividing your loan amount by the market value of the property. So let's say that you're getting a $75,000 loan with an appraisal of $100,000. That means your LTV is 75%. Most properties are going to fall between these 85 to 75% LTV range. This is by no means a full accounting of all the terms that you need to know. But having these under your belt will give you a good leg up when you start to look into investing.